Hey, welcome back. So we're in the US again. We're back from Lithuania. Jet lag is real, but I think we're getting over it. So what we're gonna do today is take a look at the SANDMARC NDPL filters. So these are the professional series. They are polarized. We have different varying ND levels. And this will be similar to the Freewell filters that we reviewed. However, the one thing I do like about this company is they're based out of San Diego. So they're within the US, they're very local, and I'm just a big fan of San Diego. I lived there for 6 months. So they also make these small mounts, which I use on my bike. We'll use this today as well as the backpack strap to get some footage. We're gonna go ahead and compare with and without the filters. We'll also compare the varying ND levels. What this lets you do is put a small camera like an RX100, DJI Osmo Action, or the Hero 7 Black on your bike. So this should get us some good footage as well. We've used this in previous videos. I do want to mention I bought this with my own money. I do like the company a lot. They did, however, graciously send me these filters to review, so I want to thank you for that, but that's not going to give me a biased review. We're going to do comparisons like we always do, so you'll see them with and without the filters, and you'll get an honest review from me. With that, it's so sunny outside. It's super nice today here in Santa Monica. Let's go ahead and dive in and get outside. All right, so we're starting off here. You can see it's strapped to the backpack. We're just gonna walk through without any ND filter on, go through a few different varying shadows and lightness. You can see right now on the Canon, which is gonna be manual exposure, it's not gonna go ahead and change, but on the actual Osmo Action, it should. So as we're walking through here, how do things look? It's kind of varying brightness right now, so I'm pretty interested to see, is it gonna do well with the shadows? At this point, these cameras are more or less always gonna be some type of automatic exposure. That's really how they're intended to be used. So the question is, as they're adjusting frame rates, is that gonna make a big difference? Also, does the polarization make things look a lot better? With the way it is right now, it's kind of hazy. There's not really any major clouds, but we can take a look at the water later in a bit and see, does the water look a lot different? Does the sky look a lot different? The great thing with these is as you put the filters on, you can actually twist them so you change where the polarization is taking effect. And so by doing that, you've got the back screen. You can see in real time how the polarization is affecting your image, and you can play with it. You can have fun with it. So at this point, let's go ahead and throw on the filters and we'll take a look at what that does. All right, so we're recording, kind of walking through the same area here, varying lighting, but definitely really bright. I went ahead and threw on the ND16, so the package actually comes with a 4, an 8, a 16, and a 32. Depending on the time of day, the brightness, I think the 16 is the most appropriate right now because there's no clouds, it's super bright. 32, usually I'd do something for like a longer exposure, or maybe if it's a sunset and there's direct light shining on the lens, but because it's overhead right now, it's not that bad. One thing I do wish this had, which it doesn't, is as you're twisting it, it's not actually showing you the line of where it's polarizing. So you really do have to look at the image to figure that out. For example, some of the drone ones actually show you the line, and that's more because you can't really adjust it unless you're looking at your phone on the camera as you're circling it around. So I wish there was a little marker that just said if it's facing up, facing down, but right now we've got it facing the sky. We'll go ahead down to the water here shortly, and we'll face it towards the ground as well to see what that looks like. All right, so we're gonna keep it rolling on 4K 60 at this point with the ND8. I think we saw the other example, so we'll do this for a little bit and then we'll go ahead and with the side-by-side with no ND filter on 4K 60. Again, just kind of getting you an idea of what footage you're gonna get out of this. As we walk around, sunny day, how's it gonna affect the frame rates? All right, so similar situation. I'm gonna try to stay in the sunlight here, but we're on 4K 60 now with no ND filter. Does the footage look a lot choppier? How's it gonna affect it? Do a quick scene here and then we'll do a side-by-side. So right now we're running it side-by-side. This is the 4K 60 with the ND8 PL. What do you guys think? Is one significantly better than the other? All right, so as we're walking back here, one thing I want to call out, which has always been interesting to me, is with these filters, they definitely have a good purpose. They have a use case. We've proven this before. With these types of action cameras, it's interesting because I don't think I'm ever gonna shoot in manual on these. Maybe I would if I want some type of weird cinematic long exposure, but for the most part, you want these things to run and gun. You wanna be able to click play, record anything, and they're just gonna work and they're gonna look good. That being said, they don't provide the highest image quality, so I tend to lean towards what are you gonna shoot in most? Are you gonna shoot in 4K 60? Are you gonna shoot in 4K 30? pick the ND filter based off that, but you don't necessarily need all 4 ND filters. Where that comes into play is more photography. If you're gonna do a lot of photography, it's very impactful to have a lot of different ND filters, or if you're shooting in manual, but I just don't see that as a strong use case here, so I do think you could get away with 1 or 2 ND filters for this type of camera. All right, so at this point we're headed back. We're gonna swap this on the bike for a bit. We'll do a little bit more footage. I wanna do some slowdown, so we'll see in slow motion how it's gonna affect things, and we'll go from there. See you guys on the bike. All right, so we've compared now all of these SANDMARC filters. What we're gonna do next is go ahead and compare it to the Freewell filters. I only have one Freewell that's also polarized, and it's an ND4, so we'll do ND4 versus ND4. Go out here on the balcony real quick, get some footage, see how these two stack up. One thing I wanna call out is build quality-wise. I have to say I probably prefer the Freewell a little bit better. If you listen, these just aren't quite as smooth, where this has a little more resistance. I don't think it makes much noise. Not that that necessarily matters too much, at least with image quality, but if you had to, for some reason, change the polarization while you're filming, you may pick it up on audio, and it also just makes this feel a little bit more luxurious. So that being said, let's see how the image actually looks, because that's really what matters. All right, so that's the full-on comparison between this set of filters. We also showed you against the Freewell. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any questions on these filters, whether you should go with polarization filters or just ND filters. The set from Freewell I want to call out is 70 bucks. The set from SANDMARC is 100. It's tough to justify the cost difference. I'm not entirely sure where it is, maybe because this is a US-based company. However, I do like a lot of the products that SANDMARC makes outside of the filters, so it could be something about brand loyalty to you as to why you choose them. As always, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up if you like this video. And again, leave any questions in the comments below. It's been a pleasure. See you next time.